This is my UFC full card picks video. Here I'll be giving you my predictions of every single fight on this UFC Shanghai Umar Nurmagomedov versus Song Yadong fight card. You're probably wondering where I'm at if you're a viewer that watches my stuff for a while now. I'm in Santa Barbara. I'm on vacation celebrating the Shotty's birthday. So I'm not in my normal place where I do videos, but I'm doing another video for you guys, so hope you guys enjoy it. Like and subscribe. Here is my full card predictions and breakdowns for UFC Shanghai. Let's start recapping though. UFC Sacramento, 7-6, 53.8%. Not my best. You see my overall record is 71.8%. It definitely took a drop for this UFC Sacramento card. I said it was a hard card. We went 4-4 in our most confident picks video. Bellator was stellar. We finished 4-1 in that. Our most confident picks video for Saturday. So we were profitable, but we could have done better. The only one that I really flipped on, the only one I flipped on was on Nasrat Haqparast. I said Taco Padilla was going to win. Ended up switching to Nasrat Haqparast. And I thought he was looking good first two rounds. And even in the third round, I thought he was looking good as well. But then he got caught in the rear, got knocked down, almost finished via ground and pound, and then lost in head and arm choke at the buzzer. Xiong, I actually thought he won the fight. I'm not even kidding. I watched the fight being unbiased. I thought he won. I thought he won the third round. First round, he obviously won. Second round was close. I gave it to Dorsainville. Third round, I thought that Xiong won, even though he was initiating the clinch in the beginning. I thought Dorsainville kind of gassed out for like 2 minutes, like from like the 3:30 to 1:30 mark, and then you saw Dorsainville really shine away from exchanges. But then they gave the fight to Dorsainville and the win to him. I think because he's a Home Depot worker. Right, it's a good story. Shamil Gaziev did his thing. I mean, I said he was going to smoke fake Adesanya, Kenny, and Zechiku, and he did it. Lawrene Douglas, gunslinger. Maybe you need to put glass gunslinger, because what was that? The shot that Jamal Emmers hit him with bounced off the guard, right? It hit him in the glove first and then connected to the face, and he went down. Crazy. We saw it in the regional scene, and we're seeing it now in the UFC. We just probably thought he evolved from that. And Jamal Emmers was able to put him out, get the Lawrene Douglas win there on his record. Probably the best win on his UFC career. Mason Jones, the dog. It's hard to pick Mason Jones as a favorite because he's in such slugging performances, right? Where he wins, it's either like it's a war. Like he can win, I can win. He can win, I can win. Who's going to win these exchanges? And it's hard to pick Mason Jones is a minus 300, minus 400 favorite in those type of fights. I thought Roman Dolidze was going to get the job done. I didn't expect him to pull guard. I actually expected Ray to pull guard. Roman Dolidze, one of the worst game plans I've ever seen in my life. Got that wrong. Sergey Spivak not fast enough, and it was clear that Vitor Pacino, the former light heavyweight, had the speed advantage there. Gregory Rodrigues, underdog. We cashed that big. Thought he would win in the first 10 minutes. I didn't think you can have that much cardio, that much takedown defense, and that much heart that we really haven't seen from Gregory Rodrigues in any of his fights. But he did the damn thing, and he won. So you can't really fault him. All right, guys, let's get it going. The first fight of the night for UFC Shanghai. Like and subscribe. Let's go at Meng Ding versus Cam Nelson. I took Meng Ding in his first fight, right? His UFC debut, I took him. Okay, I said he's the better striker. He's going to win the fight, and he lost the fight in the third round. It was 29-28. Was very, very close. But he ended up getting out-edged in the third round, which I thought he would have the advantage. The strikes of Jose Souza was starting to get to him. But as you see here, I have the striking, I have the pressure, I have the wrestling, the anti-wrestling, grappling, endurance, and durability. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. These are all the metrics that I use to predict these fights to get that 71.8% or whatever it is win record in my overall state. I believe Meng Ding has the striking advantage, right? He has been the more accomplished guy in his career, the MMA career. 45 professional fights on his career is insane. While Cam Nelson's kind of new to this game. He's 6-1, and I like the striking of Meng Ding, right? He did fight Jose Souza in a good close fight, and Jose Souza is a very, very big guy. Cam Nelson much smaller than Meng Ding, who should have the reach and the height advantage over him, and should be able to keep him at bay with the kicks, with the teep kicks, with the calf kicks. Meng Ding is very, very good, solid UFC fighter, I think. Even for being Asian, he's a solid UFC fighter. I think the wrestling kind of just mutes itself. I don't think both these guys would go for takedowns, but I think Meng Ding's anti-wrestling is pretty good here. So I'll give him the edge over Cam Nelson. Cam Nelson likes to go forward in fights, but the problem with him is who has he fought? I mean, he's fighting 38-year-olds and 40-year-olds in his last two fights that have 3-2 record that just basically picked up MMA because they went to one kickboxing class 6 years ago at 32 years old, and they're like, you know what? I kind of like doing kickboxing, so I'm gonna start doing it now as a profession. And they're fighting Cam Nelson, and Cam Nelson is smoking him. So Cam Nelson, I honestly think hasn't fought anyone good, while Meng Ding at least fought a good fighter in Jose Souza and had a very close bout with him. I give Cam Nelson the grappling advantage. Meng Ding really doesn't grapple. Cam Nelson does have some good ground and pound as well, and I like Meng Ding here to win this fight. I think he's just much technically better on the feet, and even if Cam Nelson's gonna try to pressure, I think Meng Ding can be able to capitalize and throw some nice elbows, some nice shots. He has some good, clean Muay Thai. Let's take Meng Ding there. Next, Jingnan Zhang versus Julia Polastri. Jingnan Zhang is her second fight in the UFC, right? She fought in the same card with Meng Ding against Angela Hill, which was kind of too big of a step up in competition for her. She was the former ONE FC champion back in the day, and she has a good record. She's 19-3, but she's 38 years old right now. She's a good boxer, but doesn't really have the heaviest hands, and she's susceptible to going backwards a lot. We saw Angela Hill really push her back towards the fence, and I know Julia Polastri, she loves to go forward. She loves to blast the body kick, and she loves to try to take women to the ground. And I think she should be able to do that to Jingnan Zhang. She's coming off a loss to Talita Alencar, which is no shame because Talita Alencar is actually a very good grappler, right? She's a world accomplished grappler in BJJ, and I think Julia Polastri should be able to win this fight pretty easily right here. I think she's just a better fighter. Where was I? Sorry. Doorbell rang in the hotel. I think that Julia Polastri is going to win this fight with the grappling, with the wrestling. Jingnan Zhang is not strong. She's not physically strong. We saw Angela Hill really push her to the cage, really control her on the ground, really just kind of do whatever she wanted. Angela Hill at 38 years old, 40 years old, whatever Angela Hill is not physically strong ever in her career. But at 40 years old, she's able to push Jingnan Zhang to the cage and take her down. I'm going to take Julia Polastri here to win this fight pretty easily. I don't think Jingnan Zhang is a UFC caliber women's fighter, or not even on like the Julia Polastri, Angela Hill type of levels. Julia Polastri has some good wins in her UFC career, and she's only lost to some tough girls. So I'm going to take her to win. Let's see who she lost to. I know it was like some tough girls, like Talita Alencar, Loopy, so like Josephine Knudsen. So like she lost to some good girls. She beat Corey McKenna in a split decision, and Caroline Nicolakevich, a former title challenger. So she is a good fighter, but she should be able to win this fight, right? Pretty easily. Let's take her to win via decision over Jingnan Zhang. Next, Lawrence Liu versus Hector Santiago. Talking about a guy that's fought absolute bums on the regional scene is Hector Santiago. This is what I'm really realizing about the UFC, what they're doing. The UFC, they made a mistake last time in May when they fought in Beijing, I believe, in China, when Song Yadong fought Davison Figueiredo, that fight card, because all the Chinese fighters lost, right? And they went against low-level UFC guys and women. These girls and guys from China are not good. They're not good. They're not UFC caliber. I'm telling you right now. Chinese people can't fight. And I can say that because I'm Asian, right? I'm 25% Chinese. They cannot fight. They can't. I'm sorry. It's be a lawyer, be a doctor, do something with academia. But then there's some string, right? Some wacko Chinese people that, you know what? I want to go fight. I want to become a fighter. Okay? And when they're saying that, they're going against their parents' will. They're not smart enough. God bless Chinese people with being smart, with being intelligent. They blessed them with that, having a big brain and hard work and work ethic. They didn't bless them with the athleticism. They didn't bless them with like the strong chin, right? Like the Mexican people have the strongest chin, let's be honest. Okay? The durability. They're like, you know what? We'll give you the brain, but I have to take a couple things away from you, right? We'll give you the inability to fight and inability to drive. And that's literally what happened. And that's what happened in the UFC Beijing card, where we saw everybody from China lose. Now the UFC is realizing, okay, you know what? We need to give the Chinese fans something to cheer about, right? Because all our guys are losing. All the Chinese guys are losing. So we're going to give them guys that are not in the UFC. And here's Hector Santiago. Here's Cam Nelson. Hector Santiago is not a good fighter. He's 33 years old, throws a lot of winging shots, can't grapple worth a lick. He can't wrestle either. He's squared. And I think Lawrence Liu, who is a good grappler, trains out of City Kickboxing with Eugene Behrman. Um, he should be able to dominate this fight if this fight goes to the ground. He had a good fight on his UFC debut versus another Asian, Rainbow. And Rainbow's a good striker, a way better striker, way better fighter than Santiago. And Lawrence Liu won I think a split decision where we saw him just take down Rainbow and control him there. He should be able to get the sub, get the back, and finish Hector Santiago here pretty easily. I think first round finish, obviously. I don't think it's going to be close. Next, Jack Jenkins versus Sean Woodson. I'm taking Sean Woodson here. I think the striking might be too much. The frame, right? He's huge for the weight class, while Jack Jenkins is a very small fighter. Sean Woodson, we haven't seen him in a while since the last loss versus Dan Ige. So, welcome back. But I can't pick Jack Jenkins here because Jack Jenkins hasn't beat anyone of note that's like, okay, I'm like, this is a good win. He did beat Jamal Emmers in a split decision. I thought Jamal Emmers won that fight, right? He chewed the calf. Jack Jenkins, a very good fighter. He got rocked in that fight pretty badly as well. But he hasn't fought anyone that's of note that I'm like, okay, since he beat this guy, he could beat a guy like Sean Woodson, right? His last win, Ramon Tavares, right, in 2025. Lost to Gabriel Santos. Beat Herbert Burns, who's a known quitter. Lost to Chepe Mariscal. Beat Jamal Emmers. Beat Don Shanis, who's like a New England cartel guy that's absolutely blows. So he hasn't really fought anyone of note that I'm like, you know what? He has some good wins on his record. Maybe the Jamal Emmers split, but I thought that Jamal Emmers won that fight. Sean Woodson, what do I know about him? Very, very good boxing, high IQ in fighting, right? Uses the teep kick, uses his length very, very well, keeps everybody on the end. And if Jack Jenkins is going to utilize his best weapon, which is the calf kicks, Sean Woodson is going to punch him in the face. He's going to punch him in the face multiple times, and that means he has to close the distance. I think Sean Woodson can really keep Jack Jenkins at bay here, win the first 2 rounds, and really just put pressure on Jack Jenkins. Jack Jenkins might even try to wrestle and grapple, but I think Sean Woodson does a very good job at avoiding takedowns. We've seen a lot of fighters try to take him down. The long frame, right? He's like 6'4" for the weight class or 6'5" for the weight class. He's huge. It's going to be a very, very big problem for how tall is he? A 5'7" Jack Jenkins. So I think Sean Woodson here definitely has Sean Woodson 6'2". He definitely has the advantage here and the tools to win this fight. I think he's going to win a decision. I can see 29, 28, 30, 27 type of decision. Sean Woodson should just dominate this fight. Let's take him here. Next, Long Zhao versus Francesco Nuzzi. I'm taking Francesco Nuzzi here. This guy's a former PFL guy, and it's PFL Europe, so it's not even the real PFL, but like he was a decent fighter, right? He pressures forward, goes forward, has some really, really good like kickboxing. I kind of don't like how he overextends on his punches, especially his twos, where he leaves openings. But Long Zhao, I mean, he's bad. I can't understate how bad Long Zhao is. Long Zhao, his win versus Quang Bang Li, right? He was getting dominated the first 2 rounds, and Quang Bang Li literally did a George Foreman versus Muhammad Ali where he just basically tired himself out, gassed out, and Zhao Long was like, you know what? Okay, I'm ready to die in this cage, and he just out cardioed him, and he ended up winning the fight via ground and pound. I believe that this guy is not that good of a fighter. His last fight versus Cody Garbrandt, he lost Cody Garbrandt, but should have beaten him because he had a 2-point he had 2 points deduction because of a nut shot, and his should have won easily 30-27 or 29-28. I thought it was a draw, right? You could do it can't even be a draw. Can it? No, it can't even be a draw. 29. I thought he won 3 rounds of the fight. They gave him 2 rounds to win, and then Cody Garbrandt ended up winning decision because of that 2-point deduction, 27-26, or whatever it is, 28-27, whatever the scorecard was. But I don't think he's that good. Yu, who was like a decent road to UFC guy, who lost his last fight versus Elijah Smith, got absolutely smoked by him. He did wonders against like he's not doing well against good opponents and bad opponents. He's not doing well. Cody Garbrandt sucks. He's awful. Francesco Nuzzi, very good high kick. He likes to throw like the 1-2 and then put the high kick behind it, which is really nice. It disguises the head kick pretty well, like how TJ Dillashaw throws, how Leon Edwards threw it versus Kamaru Usman. I like his striking here. I like his pressure. He has very good anti-wrestling, very good sprawling game. But this fight shouldn't even go to the ground because Long Zhao doesn't wrestle or grapple. Because he does have good grappling, especially anti-grappling, where you don't see him getting a lot of trouble with it. His endurance is pretty good, though. You can say that he has better endurance than Francesco Nuzzi. Nuzzi might get tired after the second round. We've seen him kind of get flustered on the feet, especially when he's going backwards. When he is the nail, he's a very good hammer, right? When he goes forward, when he's the advancing party, he looks good. But when he's backing up, he doesn't look as good. He's definitely more prone to getting hit with big shots. Long Xiao, maybe in the third round, can start pushing the pace on him. But I think Francesco Nuzzi is just a better fighter here, the more durable fighter as well. Long Xiao does have some KO losses on his record. I'm going to take Francesco Nuzzi here to win. Head kick knockout. Next, Ray Tsuruya versus Kevin Borjas. Ray Tsuruya is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. I mean, if you watch this guy's back takes, if you watch his jiu-jitsu, it's so clean. He beat Luis Gurriel, I believe his name was, right? Am I crazy? Luis Gurriel, he beat him in his last fight, just rear naked choke, just dominated him, did whatever he want. And I believe that he just has the edge in the grappling. It's so much. It's the edge of the grappling is just so much better than the striking edge that I give Kevin Borjas. Kevin Borjas is a good striker, right? Throws the 1-2 down the middle with vengeance. We saw it versus Ronaldo Rodriguez. We saw it versus last fight versus Andre Lima. He's a good striker, but it's hard to strike for him when he's going backwards, and Ray Tsuruya can take him down. We saw Imanol Rodriguez, who's not even a wrestler, take down Kevin Borjas and really put some ground and pound on him. Ray Tsuruya has some nasty jiu-jitsu, nasty back take, can roll for the knee bar. He's just so good at wrestling and so good at grappling. He's high level at both of those, and he should be able to put it on Kevin Borjas any way he wants it. Kevin Borjas does tend to quit in fights when he knows he's losing, and I think Ray Tsuruya can make him get to that breaking point where we see him win via submission, and Kevin Borjas is having another loss in his career, even though he's coming off a win versus Andre Lima. I'm going to take Ray Tsuruya here. He should be able to win this fight the first 2 rounds. I can see rear naked choke. I can see an armbar at the end of the first round. I think one takedown, this fight should be over. I called out with Anthony Wynn in his fight versus Terrence Chapman. I said one takedown, the fight will be over. And I think the same thing with Ray Tsuruya if he takes down Kevin Borjas. I think the edge of grappling that Ray Tsuruya had over Kevin Borjas is just so massive that it's hard to pick against him here. And he's not even that bad of a striker, Ray Tsuruya. So it's like 55-45 Kevin Borjas because he does throw with more vengeance and has more power and more pop in his punches. But close matchup on the feet. Let's take Ray Tsuruya here to win via sub. I like that a lot. Andre Lima versus Namsrai Batbayar. Namsrai Batbayar is a road to UFC prospect where he won his last fight. He threw a nasty knee to a almost grounded opponent and really hurt him and ground and pound him to a victory. Andre Lima coming off a loss where he thought he won versus Kevin Borjas, where he just pressures, but really has nothing. He has nothing going with that pressure. Andre Lima, he does pressure people and make people panic shoot, which I like. Right, you definitely go forward. He definitely has the power advantage over Batbayar, even though he had a KO win in his last fight, and Andre Lima's been a kind of a decision king recently. But I could say that Andre Lima has more pop in his punches if he lands clean. The thing is about Batbayar that I do not like is that he's kind of not polished fighter. Like, he doesn't have good striking. His takedowns are okay. They're not the best, but they're okay. He has okay grappling on top. Andre Lima, I gave Batbayar the grappling advantage, but it's kind of like 50-50 to be honest. Andre Lima, besides his submission win versus, I forgot who did he fight. He had a submission win recently versus Daniel Barres, who's not a good fighter at all, not a UFC caliber fighter. He doesn't really grapple. But I think that he should be able to push him to the cage, make Batbayar a panic shooter, and just win this fight just with control distance. Batbayar has a very, very short reach, right? T-Rex arms, kind of like Paulo Costa, and he doesn't throw a lot of jabs, doesn't throw anything significant where I'm like, okay, this guy will gain respect in this fight. I think Andre Lima should be able to just push him to the cage and do what he wants and be the advancing party and kind of just keep him on the end of the punches, the teep kicks, the body kicks, and just win this fight decision, 30-27, the type of decision where Batbayar's offense will basically be nullified the entire fight. Okay? Next, Bilal Hasan versus Nilson Rojas. This fight was close. I was very tempted on taking Nilson Rojas to take out the Dana White Contender Series prospect Bilal Hasan because Nilson Rojas does have some clean boxing. He goes forward Mexican style, goes forward boxing heavy. I mean, how do you not pick someone like that? but Bilal Hasan is just too quick. The hand speed was definitely to Hasan's favor. I thought Nilson Rojas, even though he threw some nice combinations, right, leading flowing from the body to the head with the hook, the way he was mixing up the punches, right, keeps going to the body, keeps digging to the body. Bilal Hasan won't be there for that, right? He's so good if he's the nail. He's so good at being the nail where he's just so elusive, the angles he finds. If he's going forward, he throws that teep kick, throws that side kick to the knee. He's so good at these techniques that I'm like, I don't think Nilson Rojas can get into that boxing range with Bilal Hasan. I think Bilal Hasan is just much quicker than him as well. I can see Rojas going for a hook or something and just getting countered by Bilal Hasan and getting put out. I'm gonna take Bilal Hasan here to win this fight. The UFC kind of knows what they're doing here with this matchup, right? Bilal Hasan, Indonesian cat, just had a nice win over an Indian in the Dana White Contender Series uh, 2 weeks ago, and now they're giving him a good striker, someone that's willing to strike with him, because Bilal Hasan, the way to beat him is wrestling. If he fights an American wrestler, right? If he fights like an Alex Perez, that fight will be very interesting or something like that, because he cannot wrestle for a lick and he cannot grapple at all. I gave him the wrestling and grappling advantage because Nilson Rojas legit has no tape of him actually going for a takedown or in any grappling sequences. This guy doesn't do anything. So it will be nullified anyways. No one will be shooting for a takedown, but Bilal Hasan should be able to outstrike him on the feet with the hand speed, with the angles. Might be too much for a slower Nilson Rojas. Let's take Bilal Hasan here. Probably second round finish, I can see. Next, Levi Rodrigues Jr. versus Ce Liu. I'm taking Ce Liu here. I mean, the former kickboxer, K1 guy, good hands, very, very durable, has good endurance, has some good judo throws, even though he's a kickboxer. Levi Rodrigues is bad, man. I mean, he's just terrible. I think that people kind of overrated him because at Dana White Contender Series, he did look good in his fight where he knocked out Vidal, who was going for a takedown on him and just kind of just gassed out. But Levi Rodrigues, he can't wrestle. He has no BJJ. He's awful on the ground. He can't stuff takedowns. He doesn't have the fundamentals to stuff a takedown. Remember when I said Terrence Chapman can't stuff a takedown versus Anthony Wynn? I said this, the fundamental defense of grabbing, getting the underhook, pummeling under, it's just not there for Terrence Chapman. Levi Rodrigues is much worse than Terrence Chapman at wrestling. Much worse at anti-wrestling, I would say. And Levi Rodrigues, I picked his opponent as an underdog, Felipe Franco, as like a plus 150 underdog versus Levi Rodrigues to win, and he ended up getting the job done in mount and just bodying him the entire time when he was in mount. And he looked really good by Levi Rodrigues, whose power was lacking because maybe the the drug testing where he was banned for 9 months. Maybe the pop isn't popping for him anymore. The knockout power isn't there anymore. I'm gonna take Ce Liu, who's the better kickboxer, has good power. He can skate on the outside, and then he has the good judo throws as well. If I'm him, if I'm his team, I'm like, hey, we're gonna grapple here. Let's throw some punches, get in close, and grapple, take the back, and try to finish this guy on the ground because he legit is a white belt on the ground. Ce Liu should get the job done here. If he wants to try to KO him on the feet, he should be able to do it because he is the experienced kickboxer with good durability. We saw Levi Rodrigues go against Felipe Franco's last fight, and we saw him get kind of tagged and wobbled a little bit. Again, when you're off the sauce, you're not the same fighter. I'm going to take Ce Liu here to win. He's 3-1. Let's make him 4-1 after this Levi Rodrigues win. Next, Alex Perez versus Sumudaerji. This is a makeup fight because it was a no contest where Alex Perez was like almost vomiting in a bucket from a nut shot. I think Sumudaerji, I picked Alex Perez to win that fight, and he did win that first round. But we saw Sumudaerji really come into his own in the end of the first round. Like last 2 minutes, you saw him kind of stuffing the takedown, getting the angles on Alex Perez. And I can see that happening from the second and third round where Alex Perez is kind of a fish out of water. He doesn't have the reach advantage, Alex Perez. He doesn't have the height advantage. He's a boxer that needs to get in close, and Sumudaerji keeps the long distance. We saw it versus guys like Mitch Raposo, who's a good, clean boxer, probably just as good as a boxer as Alex Perez, to be honest. And we saw Sumudaerji stifle any Mitch Raposo attacks. I think Sumudaerji should be able to outstrike Alex Perez from the outside, hit the jab, hit the two down the middle, throw some teep kicks, and Alex Perez, even if he has a successful first round, will start to gas out, not be able to find Sumudaerji in there, right? The footwork of Sumudaerji is just too clean, too many angles, too good. I think he should be able to win second and third round pretty easily. I can say a decision win over Alex Perez. Let's take that. Yeah, 29-28, Sumudaerji. You could probably see a finish here too, honestly. I mean, Alex Perez might be a fish out of water in the third round. Like he's like, I'm tired, I'm done. I'm back over here after I was in here in May. I hate China, right? I hate fighting the same guy, and I just want out. And let's call it a night. Sumudaerji might be able to finish him. I'll say probably via decision, 29-28. He should win comfortably. Next, Aoriqileng versus Kai Asakura. I think the UFC right here is protecting their investment with Kai Asakura. This is a great matchup for him to win. He fought Cameron Smotherman and smashed Cameron Smotherman in his last fight, right? Am I crazy? Did I say that right? Was it Cameron Smotherman? I think it was Cameron Smotherman. He smashed him. Let's see. Yeah, he beat Cameron Smotherman. And that's like a lower level bantamweight in the UFC is Cameron Smotherman. Now he's out of the UFC. Aoriqileng is kind of lower level as well. We saw Cody Haddon really put a beating on him, and he was kind of just out punching him too. Like Cody Haddon, not the greatest striker, I would say. He's an okay striker, yeah, he's a good striker. He's a good striker, and he was able to really hurt Aoriqileng and take him down and do whatever he wants with him. Kai Asakura, not the best wrestling, but he can anti-wrestle Aoriqileng. Aoriqileng's wrestling is absolutely awful. He cannot get up when he's on bottom. He can't anti-wrestle. He's really, really bad at wrestling. He does have some okay grappling, but Kai Asakura, the striking's too fast. The pressure's too much, right? He throws a lot of kicks, a lot of wild stuff. The knee, he's so athletic. Aoriqileng just stands there squared, right? There's a shorts rolled up like Dustin Poirier, long, wide base. Kai Asakura throws some calf kicks, be able to outspeed him on the feet and try to hit that flying knee maybe and knock out Aoriqileng. He should be able to get this job done here. Aoriqileng right now is probably going to be a zombie trying to go forward against Kai Asakura or go backwards, where we kind of saw like Elise Reed when she fought Chanel Dyer, just like kind of cower alongside the cage. I can see Aoriqileng really doing that as well. Kai Asakura should be able to get the win here pretty easily. I mean, I don't know what the odds are because I don't check the odds until Wednesday when I do my most confident picks video, but he should be able to win this fight pretty easily. Let's take Kai Asakura. Next, Xiaonan versus Denise Gomes. I'll take Xiaonan to win this fight. I think she should be able to win here. She has good angles. She's quick. And Denise Gomes, she fights girls kind of like Xiaonan, and when she fights girls like that, she loses, right? She fought Loma Bunme, who's a good striker, powerful striker, but shorter, and you would think that Denise Gomes, with her stalking kind of Jessica Andrade type approach to fighting, should be able to beat a girl like Loma Bunme, who's kind of a lower level, mid tier of the strawweight division. But Xiaonan is a very good striker. I like her in this fight. She should be able to beat Denise Gomes, who also lost to Angela Hill as well. Another girl that Xiaonan kind of fights like, but with more damage and more dangerous. Xiaonan, I give her the striking edge, even though Denise Gomes has the power. Pressure, Denise Gomes always go forward. It's rare she goes backwards, but Xiaonan fights well off the back foot as well. She can angle out. She fights a lateral fight and a linear fight, as in she can go back. She can go back and forth and side to side when she strikes. So she's very good at it. She's 37 years old versus a 26-year-old. So the age difference is a factor. Denise Gomes is probably in her prime right now in her career. While Xiaonan had that title fight versus Weili Zhang, and then she's coming off a loss right now to Verna Jandiroba. So this could be a passing of the guard moment. But I think Xiaonan is good. I think her anti-wrestling is really good now, working with Team Alpha Male and Uriah Faber. I think she's doing a lot better there. Xiaonan, the striking, I have to give it to her the edge. I give the endurance edge of Xiaonan. We've seen Denise Gomes tire in fights like that Loma Bunme fight, like that Angela Hill fight, and Xiaonan, she's been to multiple 5-round fights in her career. She's always in great shape. She should be able to just sugar Sean O'Malley to her way to a win, where she's just basically like on the outside doing her thing. And I think she should be able to beat Denise Gomes here. The crowd will be going crazy for Xiaonan as well. So any like close punches will sound like a freaking KO win. So let's take Xiaonan here to win this fight. I'm guessing she's like a slight underdog or a slight favorite. It's like a minus 120 or plus 120 type of thing. It's going to be a good fight. Next, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Song Yadong, the main event. 30 years old for Umar, 28 years old for Song Yadong. Umar has a prettier record, but Song Yadong's faced a lot of good competition, right? And I'm going to give Umar Nurmagomedov the edge here. He's a good fighter, man. I mean, that Dagestani Team Habib is on a roll, right? A/AKA is on a roll right now. Umar Nurmagomedov 20-1. His brother just beat Aoriqileng. Islam beat Machado Gary. Gazi Rabatamov won. All the high level guys that Team Habib has been winning, and I don't think it's going to be any different for Umar Nurmagomedov here. He has the striking advantage, the wrestling advantage, the grappling endurance. Song Yadong is very dangerous in the first round, right? Throws a lot of heat. Bagsat Almacan end up rocking Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar Nurmagomedov's durability is not the best. We saw Mario Bautista rock Umar Nurmagomedov. So it's definitely possible that Song Yadong can win this fight with a big shot in the first round that really deters Umar Nurmagomedov and makes him defensive. But I don't think that's going to happen. Song Yadong has a very short reach, while Umar Nurmagomedov fights so well from the kickboxing stance, with the bladed stance, with the really educated lead leg, where you throw that quick question mark kick. He's too good. He's just too technically sound. I don't know if this fight will be on the ground though. That's the thing. Is this fight going to be on the ground? You think? Because Song Yadong trains out of Team Alpha Male, same thing as Xiaonan, and they have great wrestling defense. Song Yadong's wrestling defense has been really, really good. The only way that Piotr Yan was able to take down Song Yadong in the late third round was with a trip, and I don't know if Umar Nurmagomedov has that in his bag. He's more of that traditional, like Dagestani, like chain wrestling, grab the single leg, go to the body lock, try to hook him, try to push him on his hands. That's kind of how he wrestles, and he's not the best wrestler out of that camp, but he's good enough, I think, to be able to try to threaten it with Song Yadong. And out, we've seen Song Yadong get tired, right? Third round, fourth round, fifth round, we see him get tired, and especially in the third round, we see him get tired a lot in fights, right? Versus Chito Vera, he's getting tired versus Corey Sandhagen. We see him get tired in a lot of fights. Umar Nurmagomedov with the wrestling can push a pace and be able to finish Song Yadong. I think so. I think maybe not finish, but I think decision, 49-46 type of decision, maybe 50-45 decision for Umar Nurmagomedov, where he's going to keep Song Yadong at bay. I mean, their reach advantage is huge, and especially when Umar Nurmagomedov is going to make him fight going backwards, make him, or even a 50-50, make him fight from way outside in the green zone and try to cross that void. Umar Nurmagomedov is just too good at it. I'm going to take him to win here, 50-45 or 49-46 decision. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully my audio is good. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it so much. Have a good one.